Hey, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Now, the title of this lesson is going to be The World is Filled with Distractions. The world is filled with distractions, right? And you know, the title just popped into my mind, and however, the first scripture I'm gonna bring out, you know, I was just listening to Apostle Gabar's video, and he actually pulled one of my favorite parables, and it runs parallel to the title of this lesson. He was talking about the death of Kevin Samuels, and he brought out the parable in Luke 12, and essentially that's a distraction. Everything that we see before us, around us, is a distraction. If it's not, conducive to salvation, from the said pearls that's written in the Holy Scriptures, then it is a distraction. However, only you can allow something to be a distraction, right? I have a Google definition here. Distraction, a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else, right? It's in the form of a noun. A distraction can be a person, a place, or a thing, right? It says extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. Now, what comes to mind? A woman, first and foremost. A woman can be a distraction. You know, she constantly wants your time, energy, and I mean that metaphorically, and physically. She wants your energy. You know, she wants your money, right? All of these things can end up being an agitation of the mind or emotions. That's why balance is key. That's why balance is key. Um, Another thing, what can be a distraction? Money. Money can be a distraction. The pleasures of this life can be a distraction. Your job can be a distraction. School can be a distraction. Your favorite TV show could be a distraction. When it's consumed too much. Video games can be a distraction. Esau has this society set up and systemized to the point to where they want you to forget about the Most High. They want you to forget about the Most High, and apparently social media is one of the key factors and ingredients that is used as a distraction. A lot of times, on your phone, it'll give you how much time you actually spent on your phone. And sometimes you just look at it. If you're not using your phone for, righteousness for the most part, then essentially it's a distraction, but only if you let it, right? Distraction is set up to deviate you from your mission. However, as long as you're still on your mission, then you're not distracted, but for the most part, people are distracted by social media, Netflix, Hulu, all of these things that are set up to keep you dumbed down and away from the truth, right? And away from the truth. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So the first scripture here, Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And this is Yahweh Shai, right? Bringing forth a parable, unto his men. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, because that's where it starts, right? When you want things, right? Not that you necessarily need things. When you just want this, you want that, you want this. Oh, I want a mansion. Oh, I want the baddest female. Oh, I want the finest clothes. Oh, I want the finest cars. It's covetousness, right? And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And that's one of the holy commandments, thou shalt not covet, because essentially if you acquire these things, naturally pride is going to fester. You know, there's nothing wrong with having nice things. You know, if you have nice things, you have nice things. You know, that's the Lord's gift unto you. You just can't allow those nice things to alter your mindset, you know, to the point to where you're prideful, to the point to where you feel like you're better than everyone else, you know, on a carnal sense, you know, or individuals aren't on your level, or you feel like a man that has lesser finances than you, he can't tell you nothing. That's what covetousness breeds, you know. However, a true man of the Lord, you know, he's governed by the Holy Scriptures in his mindset, you know. So if he happens to have a nice car, or if he happens to have a nice house, or whatever the case may be, his possessions isn't going to alter his mindset in the Lord because the Scriptures are governed, or the Scriptures govern his mind, right? So a man's life is not consistent in the abundance of things which he possesses and which this world, you know, promotes. You know, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, then you ain't nobody. You know, they push that whole American dream, you know, making $100,000 a year, nice car, perfect family, white picket fence, and a dog. You know, your life does not consist in the abundance of things which he possesses. You know, it says, and you see how it's targeting the man. You know, it's targeting the man because a woman follows a man anyway, right? So the man's mind has to be right, you know, in order for, you know, his woman or his children to pretty much fall in line, right? Verse 16, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully, right? So this guy is probably a farmer, you know. He was a farmer, and but we can allude it today with just business, right? And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. Like his business, his farm was doing all right. He was sustainable. He was doing well, right? And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. Now, in business today, you know, the majority, the objective of business today is what? Scale, right? Every entrepreneur, every business owner, here it is, they do well for themselves, but now it's about what? Scaling, you know? And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, which is that? Scaling, right? And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods, you know? Because a lot of time people want to scale modern day, you know, so they can live life, you know, so they can pretty much, you know, now it's two sides to it. That's why mindset is everything, and that's why having the Holy Scriptures in mind is everything. You know, people want to scale and free up their time to engage in pretty much wickedness, right? They have the ability to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it, right? They call it financial freedom, right? And like the saying goes, idle time is Satan's playground. You know, that's why, you know, you always want to keep yourself busy so you keep the devil away. You know, so we have the hope for elect. You know, if you're in a position where you could be financially free, that time is supposed to be spent given unto the Lord. You know, we would utilize that time to give it unto the Lord. However, you know, the world, you know, when it, in the case of, or in the scenario of them having financial freedom, they want to go here, they want to go there, they want to engage in this lust and that lust, and in turn, that's when Satan has the upper hand upon you, because you have so much free time to where you don't even know what to do with yourself. Real quick, let me bring out this scripture. Let me pop. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 24. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure. You know, leisure coming from the Latin leer, which means to read. You know, so you get wisdom by reading. And the only time you can have time to read is in what? Free time, right? That's why they call it leisure time. So it says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. You know, now we have the hope for, like, you know, if it's to a point to where you have financial freedom, right? Or you have free time, that time is supposed to be used to become wise, you know? Engage in you know, expanding your mindset first and foremost with this truth. You know, learning some history, learning the scriptures. You know, secondarily, hey, pick up boxing, pick up taekwondo, pick up, a self defense class. You know, something to keep you busy. That's really things that's, you know, most important. You know, I could like to call it self development, right? Self development, because when you start engaging in excessive alcoholism, excessive engaging with women, that's self destruction. You know, the scriptures speak upon wine and women. Forgot exactly where that scripture's at. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It might be in the Bible. Um, Forgot where it was at exactly. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, that's it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 2. Well, let's start with verse 1. It says, a laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich. Right? And he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little. That's right. So if you contemn small things, you shall fall little by little. That's why it's about winning the day. Right? If the spirit comes upon you to do a show, do a lesson, tap into the spirit, do it. Because you're gaining in that point at that point. But if you falling victim to that demon, to where here it is, the scripture is telling you to, do a show, do a lesson, and you don't do it. Or the spirit is telling you to pray, you don't do it. You're contemning small things, right? And in that point, you're going to fall little by little. You know, we don't win every time. I'm not going to sit here and say, do it every time. Just man fall 7 times and get it back up again. However, it's a part of knowing first. You got to know first, and then you can put it into action second, right? So you don't want to fall little by little. Small adjustments can make for a better day, right? And it says, verse 2, wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. And that's the point I wanted to get. Because those are the two biggest vices to a man when he gets some money: wine and women, party and bullshit, right? But that will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. So you know that's why you don't want to utilize that free time to wine and women, because it's self-destructive. You know, it's self-destructive. That's why you're supposed to engage in things that are self-development, and that starts with the Holy Scriptures. Because that's what's going to allude to our salvation. It says, the wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the gold, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? He giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kind father. That's right. So how you going to receive all of this wisdom, and you constantly at work? You didn't create that balance for yourself. And by the time you get off work, well, you're tired, you're fatigued. You know, you just want to go to sleep, or you want to watch your favorite TV show to unwind. One thing about reading, it makes you tired. It makes you that much more tired. So if you've been working all day and then you find yourself reading the scriptures or reading information, you'd be lucky if you get past the first 15 minutes. And then it's not only reading, you gotta digest what you're reading. You gotta understand what you're reading. So Esau got this whole society set up to where you go into school. You go through elementary, you go through middle school, you go through high school. After that, you go through college, right? Colleges, they overwhelm you with these classes and all of these paperworks, and then you got people joining frats. You got this party, that party. Then you got the women. So college is nothing but a big ball of distraction, right? So you have it. You have college and everything, and after that, now you're in the work field, making $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, or whatever the case may be. Or if you want to seek entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is even that much more time consuming than working a 9 to 5. Unless you pick the right, entrepreneurial lane, to where you can work less hours, however, consume bigger profits, so to speak. you know. However, that would be the way to go to free up your time to get involved with the truth, But the way the society is set up is to consume your time, distract you from essentially what's important, and that's this word, and that's this truth, right? Um, that's why you got the NBA, prime time. Here it is, you working from 9 to 5, and the game you come home, you unwind, you cook dinner for yourself. 8 o'clock comes, entertainment, your favorite TV show. You know, the Golden State Warriors is playing. The Brooklyn Nets is playing. Your favorite team is playing prime time. So what? By the time the game goes off, you're going to sleep. You didn't make no time for the Lord. The world is filled with distractions, man. Since he gives his mind to make furrows and is diligent to give the kind father, so every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves to counterfeit imagery, and watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil and considering the iron work, the vapor of the fire, wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace, the noise of the hammer, and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watches to polish it perfectly. This is all taking time. So though if the potter sitting at his work and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is away carefully set at his work, and maketh all his work by number, right? He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. Right? So these are individuals who are occupied in business. So when you spend so much time occupying in carnal business, you're not going to make time for the Lord. That's why when you got the scriptures in you, you're able to manage your time, that much better, and that much more in balance, because yeah, we need to make a living for ourselves. Money is a defense, but you're not supposed to put the money before the Lord, right? Going back to Luke 12, right? And it reads, and he said, "This will I do: I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, drink, and be merry." So what? Party and bullshit. This guy scaled. He scaled up. He scaled up, and now he can enjoy himself. Now he could travel. Now he could go to the club. He could go to the lounge. He could throw parties in his penthouse. He can live a good life now, right? But Yahweh said unto him, "Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? That's right. So the Lord could take your spirit at any time. You know, that time you've been utilizing to build up your business, to scale your business, you could have been using that time to build yourself up in the Lord. You know, that's the message. You know, that's the message. You don't want to be distracted, you know, when it comes to this word. You know, the carnal man don't want to be distracted from his work. You know, the spiritual man don't want to be distracted from this word. He won't allow his work, his woman, or his family to distract him. That's why the scriptures say, if you love mother, father, brother, sister more than me, you are not worthy to be my disciple. Right? It says, so is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward the Most High, Yahweh. You know, so it's about being rich towards Yahweh. And how we become rich towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushua? By keeping our eyes single. You know, that's what scriptures say, keeping our eyes single. I'm going to close out on this. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. That's right, that's this world, that's the society, that's what occupying in business. The Lord told us, occupy till I come. You talk about teaching his word, you know. However, the Lord said, lay not up for your treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. Amen. Like I said in a previous lesson, hey, the order is out with those Bloods and Crips and Sueños. I think that's the Spanish gang, and maybe other gangs. That look, if they have a nice car or jewelry on, rob them, take it from them. That's the order that's put out there, you know. So that's why you're not supposed to lay up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. You know, hey man, there was a certain time. Hey, there was a certain time where I went to the gentleman's club, right? I was at the gentleman's club, and I was with a cousin of mine, and it's funny because hey man, that's not even a wise place to be in, you know, modern day, you know, in today's time, because as soon as I walked in, as soon as I walked into the gentleman's club, you know, I looked to the, you know, that's one thing, you know, you just pretty much scope the area. You know, I looked to the right, I looked to the front, and I looked to the left. And I was able to identify, yeah, he's a jack boy, he's a jack boy, he's a jack boy. Because these are certain individuals, this is how they eat. You know, this is how they pay their bills or buy whatever they feel like they need to buy. They rob people, right? So I was able to identify him, you know, like immediately as soon as I walked in the spot. And of course, at the time when I said it, I wasn't sure, but it was confirmed as the night went on, you know. And you know, I got a drink, you know, at the bar. You know, I was ahead of my cousin. My cousin went to the bathroom. I went to the bar, and when he came from the bathroom, he pulled up right alongside me and was like, "Yo, just watch out for this guy, this guy, this guy." I'm like, "Hey, I already seen him. I already identified him." You know, and then that was, you know, one thing. And then as the night progressed, you seen these guys and how they maneuvered towards everybody who was throwing money, you know, at you know, at the women or whatever the case was. You know, they were positioning themselves, you know, slowly but surely next to the individuals who were throwing the money. You know, so that is why you don't want to lay your, you know, your treasures upon, you know, earth, because you have individuals in the world that has to take from others just to survive, so to speak, or just to get to the next day. Here it is. They don't want to pick up a trade. They don't want to, you know, they don't want to, you know, work at McDonald's or catch a quick 9 to 5. They're not trying to do that. They'll rather have the crab in a bucket mentality, you know, and to get up out of their situation. You know, that's why you shouldn't even eat crabs, because that's a unclean sea creature anyway. You know, but even the mindset of a crab is just wicked. You know, because I remember as a kid, you know, seeing crabs in a bucket, They got to pour one down to come up out of that bucket, and that's what 2/3 of our people do, right? It says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. And that's, pushing this truth, getting involved with this word, a fasting, fellowship with the brotherhood, standing clear of the distractions and the bullshit, right? It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if our treasure is the kingdom, where's our mind going to be? In this work, in this faith. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. If thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that light? Salakia. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Salakia. How great is that darkness? If your eye is on anything else but this truth, it's a distraction. It's considered evil, and it's considered to be darkness. And hey, when the goings get tough, when Jacob's trouble is established, hey, how great was that darkness? Hey, the scriptures tell us, riches profit not in the day of wrath. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. So what's the point of, giving your all, your energy, to make some money? A woman damn sure can't deliver you in the time of judgment. She's scared of spiders. So we got to give our time and energy and focus to the entities that's going to deliver us, and that's Yahweh Shah. That's where our focus shall be. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other. Going back to the definition of distraction. Let's get it real quick. Distraction, a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. And a lot of cases, that something else is usually the money, because they want to acquire everything else, and money can grant them those luxuries. Money could grant them those luxuries. So that's why we just got to focus on the Lord. We got to focus on the Lord, because hey, look, in the kingdom, when we focus on the Lord, He's going to give us all of that anyway. It says either He will love the one and He will hate the one and love the other, or else He will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. The world is filled with distractions. Don't let it consume you. And the world can be an addiction. Don't let it consume you. And it won't consume you as long as you're involved with this work. The scriptures and the Lord told us to occupy till He comes. So that's what we intend to do through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Kakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutation, and blessings to the elect. Shalom.